It's a beautiful day in this neighborhood, a beautiful day for a neighbor. Would you be mine? Could you be mine? It's a neighborly day in this beauty wood, a neighborly day for a beauty.
Now let's just have a meeting about what might be an appropriate something to buy for them.
Now, which country do you think this is, class?
Well, with the mountain and everything, I think it looks like up above land, Miss Carol.
You're absolutely right, Daniel. Now, what about this one?
Well, boys, girls, mostly boys, some very few amount of girls according to YouTube statistics, logistics. So I just had a moment here and I nearly lost my mind, and we're gonna see if it can happen again. So I got this all-star performance, probably can't focus on it. There we go, we can see it a little bit. 6911-8 locking trans dipstick for a Chevy 480E, and this may be one of those things where just the Fox body rules. What this is, everybody knows how kind of annoying this is, and they end up getting, I even mostly do a flex because can't get the tubing in a good spot, and I was able to just drop this in there, and I want to see, I'm gonna put the camera on the windshield wiper. I want to see if it'll drop in again, because I was in disbelief here. I put this down and I went back behind the cylinder head, got this around the trans, and I'm shoving it into the dipstick hole right now. Unbelievable. So what I want to do is bring this guy back up, make sure there's nothing in the thing there, even though I don't think there is, and spray a little bit of lubricant on here. Let me make sure you're still running. It has dropped completely in, and yeah, it's blown me away. Other than this thing is on like the wrong side, that's none of my concern. I don't really care about that. It'd be nice if the tab was flipped there. I don't know what's up with that, but a solid dipstick tube fit in there. This is a locker, and you can fill these so much easier than like the 45 minutes it takes to do the standard one. So I'm gonna quick check underneath. This is it's mind-blowing to me, and I'd have to make a completely separate video just to show that that fit. And this is why people do Fox body cars, even a 480E and everything installed, and yoink. And then if anybody else can see, you can reach down and do the bell housing bolts with your hands and a ratcheting wrench or an actual ratchet. There's tons of room to just put a ratchet with a short socket on there. So let's check out underneath. All right, chiefs and non-chiefs, I have the gasket for this dipstick, the bottom, and I almost did this wrong again, laughably. You need to pull this off and then put this in here. You put that in there because if you try to shove it in with the dipstick, it tries to push this guy over the lip of the dipstick, thus not getting it installed at all. And trying not to hit my face on anything. So I got the dippy dip here, and one amazing thing also, oh yeah, it says 480E here, dig that. So it came right out the bottom too, unbelievably. So look, we'll jam it straight up, and here, even with the dipstick in, you see that? Ta-da! And then probably don't need this, but everything's new. Don't want to rip it. I'm used to just putting oily stuff together, and that, you know, makes it pretty easy, to be honest. Everything's already used. So blop, here we go. That's a holy matrimony union right there. And then we're gonna do, Cameron has done videos on this, we are going to calibrate the dipstick, because most of the time they are not right. You need to pull the pan. This is empty. You need to pull the pan and mark this dipstick, or check that the dipstick, he says majority of them are not right, even expensive or cheap. you need to mark the dipstick at the case top, which means full. So, full might be high or low, not good. You need to have full at the case head. So we'll move on and do that next. And then I'm probably going to throw my converter bolts in because they are still not installed. And that is important. Look at my billet flex plate. Look, I'm fancy SOB. Alright, so let's get on this magical journey here. Cameron also says if the transmission sits for a long time without fluid, this can dry out. Also, with the weight of it's sitting on the belly pan, it's not supposed to handle that kind of weight. This is why stuff leaks. Transmission sits on this too long and it does funny stuff to the gasket, and then it leaks also. He sent me an extra gasket when he built this trans, specifically to swap when I get it in the car and do this, because the gasket may be compromised. So we got our zippy boy here. Oh yeah, and we got our, check this out, we got our Milwaukee lift light on here, and it has I got the diff bolts in it right now, but I'm going to start dropping trans pan bolts on it. See if we can hold them all. Let's take the diff ones out so we can get a accurate test here. Let me put the diff ones on the floor so I can kick them somewhere and they'll be gone. I got my gun turned down. Milwaukee's have a nice, I call it a torque setting. If you have one of these Fuely boys with the 4 settings, this one's like barely finger tight. This one's about 10 foot-pounds, that's about 20, and that's all it's got. So depending on your socket head, which you might notice, my wife very generously got me 3/8 impact. I didn't have any 3/8 impact sockets, and I do a lot of blasting with this thing. So it's nice to got me that Nico set, highly rated on Amazon. I was looking at it for a while. Maybe I'll show you guys if you're interested. Some other guys, when I posted it on Sloppy, said you know, they have similar and they love it. Same exact thing. Look at it, it's holding all the tranny bolts. Alright, I left one in the back loose so it doesn't come flying down if there is fluid. See, it's loose. And now you want to make sure the back one is tight. It sounds completely hollow. So it would be really, yeah, there's no weight at all. There's probably a little bit of fluid from assembly. Oh, there is one more bolt back here. See that? Wow, this magnetic tray. Not sponsored by Milwaukee. They don't like me anymore. Well, at least the Northeast, North America rep doesn't like me anymore. Yeah, there's just a tiny bit of fluid in there. And all the bolts are in the Milwaukee light tray. So, we just have to check the dippy dip here. Look at this high quality gasket. Very nice. All fresh boy stuff. That's the trans brake wiring and everything there. Sweet. A lot of cool stuff. Don't normally have. So. Alright, I wanted to go back here and re-explain this and show you guys this is how it's done. Calibrate the dipstick. This is how we say it. So you install everything and you take the pan off. And then in the middle of my dipstick there, the HOT, the O is in the middle, essentially, of the fill line. So when I'm on the 0, the O, it is medium full. And what I will probably do is when it is hot, is fill it to the T on hot. So actually, it's pretty much perfect. I don't know if you could ask for any more right there. So the middle of the hot is hot and full. And that rarely ever happens, but that's the kind of thing we call mat luck.
Right
You can
there.
see where he's held together, and then there's a coin slot on his back.
And what about this?
We'll turn him around just like you did Mr. Mulligan,
That's a dog.
and you'll
Oh,
see the
that's where
slot in
the-
the back of his neck.
Same thing with this little one?
No, that's not a bank, Fred. That's a paperweight. Some of the banks had paperweights that went right along with them, and it looked just like the big bank.
Aha.
Let's go down to the next shelf,
So you
and we'll see some buildings. Just like the people and the animals, there are different sizes and different colors. That looks like your house, doesn't it?
No, it doesn't. You're a jokester,
Well, how
Will.
about that? Does that look like your house?
No, that looks like one of those pieces that I play with to show what a triangle looks
Yes,
like.
that's called a triangle
there's
building.
There's the bank part there.
Yes.
And look at those other buildings. Do you have any piggy bank?
I sure do. Let's go to the next
I had
shelf.
a piggy bank about this big.
Did you? Here's some of my favorites.
Uh-huh.
Once again, different colors, different sizes, different shapes.
Oh, you've got money in there.
Yeah, there's a couple pennies in each one. Look at these banks, Fred. These are building banks again, but it's the same bank, but different size.